Hello, fellow budgeters. My name is Brandy, and you are at From Debt to Dreams. Thank you so much for being here. Today, what we're going to do is we are going to budget out the pay period for October 25th through November 7th. Now, this one is going to be a little tricky because we're doing the end of the month bills for October, which will start right here. No, because we did those on the last paycheck. Sorry, my apologies. We're going to start right here and then come back up to my list and come all the way down here. So it's kind of tricky because when we have to do our mortgage, that's when things start getting a little tricky. Okay, so up here, we're going to write our income. Let me explain how I do my income really quickly. Once upon a time, earlier this year, we were 1 month ahead. And so in order for me to keep track of our finances that way, I have two checking accounts. I have one that I call an income account, and I have one that I call my expense account. The income account is where all of the income sat that we earned during the month that we waited to move. So at the end of the month, I would move that money into our expense account so that all of our expenses for the next month could be paid, if that makes sense. So if we were still doing that system, which is, I want to get back to it so badly because it was just so much easier. All of the money that we would have earned in October would sit in our expense account or income account, while the money that we earned in September would sit in our expense account paying our October bills. Unfortunately, we had a lot of stuff happening to us. In 2024, we had a mouse problem in our house we had to take care of. We had a car problem we had to take care of. We had another car problem we had to take care of. We had a dog that got really sick and we had to put down. And it just, thing after thing happened. And unfortunately, we had to move into our month ahead fund. So our bills, I still have some money left over in that account that rolls over each month to help us, because the way that we are paid, it just gets a little tight sometimes. So my last Budget With Me video, I did not do a very good job with showing how that works. So today I'm going to hopefully do that better. So what I'm going to do over here in income, I'm going to write in rollover, and that is what is left over in our income account from what we had last month. So that is what is left over in the income account right now, after the last paychecks. I don't know, it's so hard to explain. I hope I'm doing a good job. But anyway, that's what's in the income account right now. And right now, we have $2,214 in there. Now, earned income is everything that my husband and I are hopefully going to earn between our two jobs and then a side hustle that I have. So he will bring in about $2,230. I will bring in about $1,300, and then my side income will come $300. So altogether, that's going to be $3,830. So add those together, and we got $6,044. Let's see if I did my math right. That looks so bad, but I really wanted to not use my little Dollar Tree calculator. Yep, $6,044. All right. So the next part is we're going to go into bills and debts, and this is everything that comes out of the checking account that are our bills or our debts. And those are the things that the amounts usually do not fluctuate. So if we're starting on the 25th, we're going to go on my expense sheet right here. We're going to start with tithes to our church, and that is $108. And that will come out on the 26th. I have a student loan, a federal student loan, that will come out on the 27th. It's $85. Our second of 2 Apple TV charges will come out at $15. Now, we do not pay for 2 separate Apple TV subscriptions. One is the actual Apple TV subscription, and the other one is the MLS package that my husband pays for, that my husband likes, that we all pay for, so he can watch the MLS games. He really loves Major League Soccer. Okay, then we have Ashley Furniture, which is one of our debts. That will come out on the 29th at $45. We have Spotify. That will also come out on the 29th at $15. That's the end of the month expenses. Now we're going to move up to the beginning of the month expenses. So we have a Nintendo charge that comes out every month for my kid. That's $20. Gab Wireless is the phone we use for our oldest son. It's a smartwatch. We love it. I'm budgeting $20 for that. Our mortgage will come out on the 5th, and that is $2,081. Our CarMax payment for our new to us Rogue is $326. Piedmont is our gas utility bill. I budget $100 for that. It will not be $100. It never is $100, but I always over budget. Citi credit card, which is a debt that I pay on the 5th. I'm budgeting that to be a $400 payment. Capital One for the 5th. That's a $25 payment. Our focused debt right now that we're working on is a care credit card that we have in my husband's name, so I call it J Care Credit. Unfortunately, we had to take that out in order to pay for our dog to be put down. We are going to put $100 there. At least I hope to. We'll see if things work out. Okay, Focus is our internet utility bill, and that'll come out on the 6th. And that's $100. Peacock subscription. I need it because I have to watch The Office. It's what's your comfort shows? Do you have a comfort show? My comfort shows are The Office, Parks and Rec, Community. I love those, and so that's why we pay for Peacock. I budget $10, but it's usually only about $7. All right, we've got Compassion International. It's one of our tithes. We have sponsored a little girl in Ecuador for a really long time. And our electric, goodness gracious, it's going to be a heavy one. I budget $200 for our electric. That's usually, if we average it out over the years, that's what it is. I'm going to be a little bit more diligent on looking at what that looks like for each month, because it does fluctuate a lot depending on if we're using the, what's the word I'm looking for? If we are using the air conditioning, which in coastal Carolina, we need to use the air conditioning. Okay. Oh, and actually I wrote down some on here that I don't even need to write down on here. Because we're only going into the 7th. Well, look at that. That's good news. Okay, so I can take off Compassion. I can take off the utility and T-Mobile. Oh, good. I was starting to get really worried because those are big numbers, and I need to make sure that we have money in our rollover account for the next time. Okay, so we got those all covered. Now let's add those together. 108 plus 85. I have to be slow with this calculator because it does not like me. Plus 15, plus 5, plus 15. All right, so we are at $34.50. And subtract that from $60.44. And our leftover is $25.94. Okay, now we move on to envelopes. This is what we use our cash for and other things. So every 2 weeks, we budget $600 for groceries. I've got to put the leftover number right here. Every 2 weeks, we budget $200 for gas. My husband gets $20 of spending. We have $5 for school, $5 for scouts, $15 for haircuts, and I have been pulling $10 out for my itsy bitsy teeny weeny savings challenges. Okay, so let's add that together. 800 plus 20 plus 10 plus 15 plus 10 equals 855. Gives us 1739. Okay, so 1739. Now we are going to put $300 in our emergency fund because the side hustle that I do, the $300 that I get a month for it, that needs to go into our emergency fund, or I guess I should say our savings account. I shouldn't really call it emergency fund right now because we need to pay for our scout annual dues and we also need to pay for Christmas. And those are coming up very quickly and I had the money for it. Then crap hit the fan in the summer. So $300 left over, 1739 minus 300 gives us 1439, which is good. I don't like that it's only 1439 that's going to be in our rollover account, but the good news is we don't have to pay our mortgage with the next paycheck. So the only really big ones we'll have on there are the next paychecks are the utility bill and stuff. So, okay. So in a zero-based budget, you would continue budgeting until you have $0. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I guess I can write this right over here for extra savings. I can write rollover at 1439. So our savings total is 1439 and our leftover is 0 down here for extra savings. So, so that's good. And then the way that you, I put that in the wrong spot. I guess our sinking funds total is 300. And really, I shouldn't even put it in sinking funds. If I'm filling this out correctly, I should have put it in extra savings. But my brain is just working fast, okay? So let's look right here. Let's just add these together. 1439 plus 300 plus 855 plus 3450 equals $6,044, which is what we have up here in our income. So, it's a little stressful. We've got a lot of things that are coming up that we'd like to do. But you know, we have very little margin in our budget right now. And so we're just going to work with what we have and do what we can do and work through it as fast as we can. So anyway, that's my budget with me for a pay period of 10/25 to 11/7. If this is something that you enjoyed, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope that you have a really great day. And I hope that you consider following us along as we go from debt to dreams. Thank you so much. Bye.